Good afternoon. Welcome to Two Gents. I almost said it, Byron. I didn't say it this time. Welcome to Two Gents. I'm glad to be here. I see a surprise guest out there. You see who that is, Byron?
No, sir. You remember I can't see nothing of what you
Oh,
said.
oh. Let me do this real quick. I'm just gonna add it. You see who that is, don't you?
Okay, Rihanna. See
Yeah.
the I see the mic on mute.
Yeah. I hope that she didn't say that she was gonna come into the show, but she said she was gonna listen tonight. I'm so happy she did, man. It's been a while since we seen our sister out there. I'm glad that she's able to contribute. Well, Glass, how's your day going? I know we talked off air, but we on air now. So
Well, Mr. Spikes, of course, you know I'm in a not so normal location, so I'm gonna be a little bit tame tonight. I can't say and do what I really want to do because I'm sitting in another place in another time zone. But we still gonna be, enlightening and informing and doing whatever we can do to make sure that we continue to reach our goal, which is to enlighten and inform, not distort the message and divide the people.
absolutely. And as we continue to move through this, I just want to say, we don't pass our offering plate around here, but I've been lacking in some ways, and the only thing that I'm asking you to do is go out and at least subscribe to our channel if you like the information that we're putting out. I went to a place of business today, and I told Glass that earlier, and they asked me what was the podcast, what was the name of the podcast, and they put it on, and people started listening around there. So I was like, golly, I said, okay, we might have something here. I see Rihanna must have lost her connection, so she's back in. I'll tell you, Rihanna, I know you don't want to come on, but you basically have to disconnect everything and just leave the show on, and that's the only way that it what you call it, that you can stay in there. So Rihanna say resist. That's my sister in arms out there. She's been here for a long time. I just want to tell y'all, if you're coming in, come on in, and we're gonna get started. Well, Glass, did you look at our topic today?
Mr. Spikes, I had a chance to look at it, but I hadn't had a chance to digest it because I just made it back in here 5 or so minutes ago. But I can catch on, and I will ride along the train. So we always yield to the person who's most affluent in certain situations. So I'm gonna yield to you and let you guide this train tonight. And I'm gonna follow.
So I'm gonna be the caboose. I'm gonna be the engineer, and you're gonna be the caboose, huh?
Yes,
You
sir.
way at
Yes,
the back of
sir.
the train, but every once in a while they have to drag the caboose up near the engine. So I want you to be there.
I'm there, buddy. I'm there. So
Yeah,
what we're gonna do tonight, Mr. Spikes? How you gonna guide this plane tonight?
I'm gonna guide it the way we always do. We don't miss. We're at a point where we don't miss. We continue to go on. I see Josh out there. Josh, welcome in, man. Thanks for taking the time, your time to come into the show.
Thank you
I
for
hear you.
having me.
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead. Josh is here. We waving. We can hear you. You can't
Good
hear
evening,
us?
gentlemen. Yeah, good evening, gentlemen. Y'all doing all right this evening?
We're doing
Good evening,
great.
Josh.
We're doing great. As we get started in this, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. There's a lot of things going on out there. Um, we have to begin to ask ourselves, what's going on with our vote? Is our vote being counted? Is our vote moving us forward, or are we stagnant where we're at? Because sometimes it seems like we're more stagnant when it comes to actually getting involved, doing the work, and trying to attempt to stay engaged. So, Glass, as I look at this whole thing, I don't know. I think that the society is. I think our party takes us for granted when it comes to voting. I think our party sees us as a just a body, a skin with no brains in it. They just continue to abuse our ability to move forward. So Glass, I don't know if I got that right, but how do you feel about that?
Well, Ron, we have talked about this on multiple occasions where uh, people, actually make an attempt to take you for granted because they feel like they can tell you anything that they want to tell you. You're going to listen. I
Mm-hmm.
think if you are referring to 2025, you can obviously look and see the facts speak for themselves that in this last presidential election, yeah, I think the Krets felt like, hey, we're going to just throw this person down your throat. We're not going to go through the process, and we know you're going to vote for them. So the results turned out to be not so good, not so much in favor. So I tend to agree with you, Ron. I believe that for the life of it, both parties has basically taken their voters for granted.
And I don't know how we get this thing back on track, but I will say this: the last show we did, we talked about Michael Steele, and we kind of broke down what he was saying. I think as a party, we need. I'm gonna go back to what he said and how he said it to make sure everybody understands. We need to get off our ass and do something. We need to get off our ass and stop talking about what we're going to do. We need to get off our ass and stop worrying about what the Republicans going to do. Stop worrying about what everybody else is doing and worry about what's going on within our party, within where we at. We're not making any progress. We still haven't got a leader. We still haven't picked out nobody to vote for president. But we still are in the same spot where we was. And I don't know where we go to move from this point. I don't know where we go to try to get back on track. But I'm gonna hold the party accountable every day that I get on this air. Every day that I get on this air, I'm gonna hold the party accountable, and our justice system, has to move in some direction. Our congressmen, our senators. I don't hear nothing coming out of those parties. I haven't heard anything in a while. The only thing I hear is Trump doing this, Trump doing that, Trump here and Trump there. I'm gonna ask a younger person because maybe my ears ain't that good. Have you heard anything else, Josh, out there while we've been moving? You got,
No, Trump got elected, got in office, and been moving hot.
what
And
about
there's
our
a
party? I'm just curious.
no, you hadn't heard much.
They- you know, and how do they expect us to vote? And this is what I would say. We have to get more toward, as Glass said, toward the center. We have to pick. It doesn't matter what party you're in. We have to pick a person that's doing the work. It starts locally, as we always say. That's gonna give you the most effect in your area. Most people don't understand that. They say, oh no, we just voting for the president, or we ain't voting at all, or we ain't doing this. Everything that affects you locally before it affects you nationally. So you need to vote locally and support, find out who's in your area, do your research, and find out who's running for office, and kind of look at their history. Don't wait till it's election time and then look at them. Get in there and research it before then. Glass, I know we always talk about it, so I know you got to tone it down just a little bit. So I'm trying to tone my voice down a little bit too. So
Well,
go ahead.
Ron,
I'm sorry.
I think to answer your question, if you look at last week's show, when we was talking about the church, Joshua felt like that particular generation were not being heard. Well, you can transfer that information over to, this particular party that we're talking about, and nobody wants to be told,
Hmm.
what it is that's in the best interest. So when you look at the dynamics, you got 60, 70, 80-year-old people who cannot relate to somebody that's 20, 30, but yet still you're trying to govern for them. So I think there's a mischaracterization, on the Dems side, which again that take people for granted, and they don't want to be told nothing, and they don't want to, release or relinquish the power that they have, and allow a younger generation to get involved. And again, all you got to do is look at facts. The Gen Z, nobody's hearing them. They call them lazy. they call them whatever it is. It's not that they're lazy. They just have a different way that they deal with life because what we had to do, they don't have to do. So I think there's definitely taken for granted, and that's going to cost in 2 years, and definitely going to cost in 4 years if they don't get a messenger out there ASAP. And we've said it for 4 months now, I believe, five going on since November. There has been nobody out there, and I looked at a poll today, and it was showing that the Dems are really losing, and the other side can do whatever it is they want to do because there's no message to counter what he's doing.
Yeah, they had a vote the other day in the House, and it's like the Democrats just they go on with the plan. They know what the plan is. They're moving forward with it, and at least they're willing to break ranks. I don't know if the party had to be destroyed that bad for them to break ranks and try to get some results, but it seems like that's what it's going to take to move forward. Because if you don't have an agenda, if you're not putting anything out, if you're not delivering out anything to the public, you're looking for the same results as we had last time. And that disconnect, and I hate to just continue going back to it, but that disconnect of our party is the same thing that we see with that Kendrick Lamar at the Super Bowl, not being able to relate. Older people not being able to relate to that younger person, the message that he was putting out. That's the same message that the Democratic Party is putting out right now, and they still haven't been able to relate. And at this point, I know I said Michael Steele last week, but maybe this week we should nominate Kendrick Lamar as our next president. I mean, it's making about as much sense as what we're hearing. I'm gonna be honest. I mean, at least he's coming out saying they're not like us. They're not like us, and that's more than what we're hearing from our own party. Rihanna, I see you out there. I don't know if you want to come in or not. If you do, you can come. You just say, hey, I'll shut up and move back. But yeah, we might as well. We not. They not like us. They not like us. We might as well start playing some music like that, and maybe the Democratic Party get on board because the Republicans definitely saying, "Hey man, this is gonna be easy. We got our vice president. We can hook him up, and by the time Trump get out of office, we're just gonna continue to march. We may never get back on track as a Democratic Party, but if you remember, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna step on some toes. We worked harder to try to destroy the Republican Party message than we did trying to establish our own. I mean, we worked hard to destroy everything that the Republicans said. We just jumped on board. We just beat their horse till it couldn't run no more. But what any Republican could have did was say, you know what? What are you giving your people? What are you offering? And they haven't did it. I hear you, Rihanna. Come on in.
Yeah. No. Hey, everybody.
Hey, hey,
Um,
hey!
good to see you. Uh,
Likewise.
I totally agree with I agree with so much that's been said, but right there, the messaging. We have been so horrible at messaging for so long. Look at how quick and easy it is for the Republicans to just spew all kinds of lies. And before you know it, that's reality. That's a fact. Elon Musk says, oh, there's hundreds of thousands of 100-year-old, 115-year-old people on Social Security, and we're paying for it. That's a lie, but it's out there. They just have to get it out there once. And we can't even get together on a messaging uh, uh, strategy to get the facts out there. We have an agenda, we have good policy, we have all these things, but we can't seem to figure out how to message that to people, how to message that to a large group of voters who that would appeal to. It just makes no sense to me. And I understand that the Republicans have it kind of easy. If you can fit some stupid lie on a bumper sticker, you slap it on there and you got it made. And people will repeat it and follow it. We can't figure out how to do that. I don't understand it. Um, it just, I get texts every day, multiple texts for the Democrats that, democracy will be destroyed if I don't send them $20. They can figure out how to send that.
Hey, Ron,
How can they not figure it out?
to go to Rihanna's comment. I got a text that said, "People is desperate. People are desperate for a change. That's the message. Change different, even if we don't understand it. Something so drastically different is what people are attracted to. And if you look at it, like my text person is saying that he wasn't a politician. He wasn't traditional. So he was able to attract more because I was talking to a guy. What's the day? Tuesday. It must have been Saturday or Sunday. He was saying that, and he explained to me why he felt like, the race went the way it did. He said that they voted for, different senators and different Republicans, but they voted for the other guy, which is the one we're talking about, because he was so much more different than the average, politician, and they knew that he was going to do what he said. Not that they liked him. And see that's what I think that's the message that we're missing. They don't like him,
Mm-hmm.
but he's different.
Mm-hmm.
He's singing the tunes that they that they want to hear. And Ron, I think Joshua can relate to this. It's just like their generation, man. They ain't trying to hear what we saying. They're not trying to hear what we saying.
No, they can't. They can't hear because they can't identify with what we're saying. And see, I'm gonna say this: Trump's deal is that he does this one thing that it may be wrong, it may be counterproductive, it may not go anywhere. But if you say you're gonna do something, he gonna do it.
He keeping his word at whatever
He gonna
cost.
do it. Yeah, at any cost.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm a younger person and I'm looking at the Democratic Party and we talk behind closed doors, we plot behind closed doors, we come out with a plan and we say get on board, get on board. No planning, nothing else. Just get on board. And Josh, I don't know if that messaging is coming to you, but that's the message that I'm getting as an older person. Josh, I don't know if you heard me. I was kind of letting a younger person come in because, old ears hear the same thing. Young people
Oh,
might be
yeah.
hearing something different.
Well, I can say from some of the conversations I've had, I think the Democratic Party has failed with the fact of Trump. Both times Trump got elected, he ran against a woman.
Mm-hmm.
When he ran against Biden, Biden won. So when he won the first time against Hillary, it was a close call. So I think they kind of let us down in the fact that they just kind of threw Kamala in here at the last minute. And again, unfortunately, as far as we've come, I don't think that the country is ready for a woman to be president. And that's how Trump. Part of the reason why Trump has got elected both of the times he got elected. And I can say that, unfortunately, a lot of Democrats also, when they do decide to get out and vote, it's for the president.
Mm-hmm.
So when there's local elections and local people, senators, and when it's time to go vote for these people to have in the Senate and in the House, most Democrats are not voting for these people. We don't know nothing about them. We don't know who these people are. And then, when it's time to go vote for the president, we go and vote. But the people that actually help running the show sits in the Senate and the House. That, like right now, that's part of the problem that we have now. The Republicans is running both of them. So we don't have nobody to counter or say, no, we'll wait on this policy, or let's counteract that. It's mostly Republicans, so they're going to agree with everything that Trump says and does.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I see a stranger out there, Byron. I'm gonna call her out, Dr. Shirley McKillop. she's on the air right now. She's out there. I don't know if she wants to come in because she didn't bring up her camera. But if she wants to come in, she can put up an avatar or whatever. If she wants to come in, Rihanna, just let us know.
Right, but remember, there's nothing that's normal now, and old old ways have been normal. This guy is. Here's the deal, Ron.
Mm-hmm.
If he was not uh, uh, the R word, if he wasn't
Excuse
so
me.
so crazy and say stupid stuff and be demeaning, hell, I would be supporting him because he say you know what he gonna do. He gonna tell you what he gonna do. If you like it or not, and people tired of being lied to.
And that's about what it amounts to.
Yeah.
And that's what. And Josh, don't let me put words in your mouth, because I'm asking you to do something that most people are not doing, because you're taking your time for once to come on the air, and you from a younger generation than probably everybody that's out here. But that's the messaging that I'm seeing go out, is that he's a man of action. It may be a bunch of lies. It may
Mm-hmm.
be a bunch of stuff that's gonna be taken back. But he's a man of action. If he say he's gonna do it, he don't care how he looks in the end.
Yeah.
He don't care. He
Yeah.
doesn't care.
Absolutely.
But he gonna sit down and sign them executive orders on the stage right after he got off. And that's action. That's
Yep.
action.
You look
When
at
we gonna
Project
wake up? Go ahead.
look at Project 2025, and again, within the first 30, 40 days in being in office, he's coming in hot.
Mm-hmm.
He is.
Executive
He
order
is.
after executive order after executive order to change the things that's in this Project 2025.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And what are Dems at?
Quiet.
I'm sitting on my hands. I got my hands up under my thighs, and I'm looking at everything else that's going on out there. I think I'm a Democrat, don't you, Glass?
Hey,
I'm
Ron.
sitting on my hands. I got them up under my thighs, and I'm moving my head and my mouth, and I'm talking on these airways. That's the new Democratic Party. I'm not saying that the old Democratic Party was the best party out there, but have we given up? Have we just given in? I mean, I don't never remember nobody giving in. I don't think Dr. Martin Luther King gave in. I don't think anybody gave in. But we're looking at a defeated bunch of people that don't know which way to go. And when they reach out, they criticizing. Who they criticizing? The Republican Party?
Ron, I'd like to read this comment.
Go ahead.
It says he's not playing politics, and that's what's attractive. He is keeping his word no matter what the call. I think the bottom line is people are just sick of politicians. They're always trying to make a deal. We need a party that is not trying to make a deal, but is supporting our values. So maybe not a Democratic Party. I don't like Trump at all, but I respect the fact that he keep his word in less than 20 or 30 days. I mean, but see, the other opposing side won't listen to that. They won't listen to Josh.
They won't listen to anybody. But
Yeah,
but here's the thing, Glass. They will say that they delivering a message. They will say that nothing affects them, and the messaging is on point.
Mm-hmm.
If the messaging was on point, why they changing all these people at MSNBC right now? Why they changing them out? I mean, why are they changing out the guard in where we were getting our news information from? It was because they wasn't delivering the message. Everybody got caught up in what they want to hear, what they want to understand, where they want to go. And if you couldn't follow what I was saying, you know, this is a party that we're in. We're here. And I'll use this analogy as I said before. They put a ring in our nose, and they lead us this way, and they lead us that way. And that bull, how much does that bull weigh? That bull probably weigh 1,200 pounds or more. But he can't go nowhere unless that ring goes, unless they pull that ring. And that's where we at as a party. Now, I'm not for sure if I got this right, because I know that this person out there, if she wants to come in, I'm gonna bring her in. I don't know if I'm gonna see how it comes out. But Dr. Shirley McKellar, I know it's been a while. I can see you. I can bring you into the studio. If you can say hi or something, it's fine with me. If not, I definitely understand. Because there's no telling what you might be moving mountains out there trying to give us an answer for this Democratic Party, and I know you have the ability to do it. Well, she must be in a meeting or something, because she is a city councilwoman down there in Tyler, Texas. And
Right.
Running for mayor.
running for mayor. Y'all heard that? This is the Honorable Dr. Shirley McKellar. Come on in. Is that Rihanna, or was that Dr. Shirley McKellar?
That was me.
Oh, okay.
Hyping her up.
Okay. We're going to
Hey,
get Dr. McKellar in here.
hey,
Dr.
Ron.
McKellar, you know we're not going to leave you out there. Come on in, Glass.
No, I'm just trying to make sure when people participate in other ways that we still acknowledge them. Another comment, since we agree, this is a great question. Since we agree that the Democrats have failed, should we start promoting another party? Now, they thought Bernie Sanders was whacked out,
Oh, yeah.
but he had a message.
Mhm.
Okay, and Ron, if they would not have bulldog or undermined him back when he was there, to be honest, I know they won't admit it, but I think they regret it now.
Let's go back a little bit further, Glass, since you're taking us back there. 2 weeks before the election, what happened? About 2 or 3 weeks out from the election, it was all these emails that came out of nowhere. 2 weeks. It's always a plan. It's always something that they do that's out of the norm. And then they come out and they say, "Oh, well, I heard this. You know, we don't get involved in the cycle until, you know, after it happens in a while. We don't get involved in that. We wait. If we have anything, we don't bring it out." This was a woman. I guess they didn't want her to win either, so they brought it out, and they continue to play by their rules. We don't have any rules. We just, here we go. It's okay. It's okay to just walk on the Democratic Party. It's okay. I don't know how to get out of the Glass. I really don't. I'm trying. I'm trying to engage with America and get out of it.
Well, I think we know what the solution is, but people are still beholden to that particular. You don't have to support that party. You know, again, it's obvious that, you know, remember, you can't win the game, man, if you're not in it, and they're not even in the game right now because you again. November, December, January, February, almost March. Still nobody out there. And like Rihanna said, Musk saying that, you know, it's people that was 150 years old that was getting Social Security. But Social Security ain't been out there for 150 years. Who counted that?
Nobody.
Exactly.
And man, it's, I agree with the individual that's texting. We just, man, you can't win if you ain't in the game, and we're just not in it. And if, until somebody's in the game, he gonna continue. And rest my word, you can only be there twice. If you don't watch him, he'll be there 3 times.
Andrea Miles, glad that you commented. She said, "I believe people are looking to break free from a Roman system, not just find another political party." And there may be some truth to that. I mean, that's true. And I know Glass is on the edge of that, saying, you know, maybe we need to start something else.
Well,
it's
no longer maybe.
Because you know, people done lost their lives.
Yeah, they losing jobs.
People done been bit by dogs marching, trying to get us here, trying to make a difference in this world. But we work, but it seems like everything is going in media cycles, and I'm gonna stay there for a minute, Glass. Does anybody remember George Floyd? And the reason why I go back to him, because that was the last uproar that we had.
Yeah.
But how long did the uproar last?
Who is George Floyd now?
Well, that's my point. Sharpton talking about the DEI boycotting. Okay, you do that for one day and it's over with. But back during the Sixers era, they did it for 300 plus days.
Yeah.
You got to stand on it, run. Everybody talking, but nobody's putting forth action. All this other stuff, man, ain't nobody got time for that. It's time to, if we can't find a voice, we need to create somebody to be that voice. Because at the end of the day, this guy's doing exactly what he want to do. And if you get behind too far, you can never catch up.
Yeah.
Rihanna, what was that guy name that was Bannon? Bannon. Wasn't Bannon serving the same role in the first presidency that the
Yes.
But he didn't
he
have
Yeah.
the
served?
money.
He
He
didn't
didn't
have the
have the
money.
money.
Yeah, and that's the difference. But see,
Yeah.
Elon Musk has the money,
Hmm.
Yeah.
and he's basically, I mean, the floodgates are opening for him, and it's
And he
nothing that.
controls the most powerful social media tool.
Yep.
Right. And he now has all of our data, and his businesses are get a lot of funding from the government.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's just, and that's to me the most crazy thing about all of this is that people, I get that people say, I don't like him, I don't like his policies, but he says what he's going to do and he does it and all that. It doesn't matter how much those things are going to hurt you. You'll still say that.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that says, and Baron Glass, you just hit the nail on the head when you said uh, the thing that Musk said. Who came out and countered that? Messaging. It's and it's more than messaging. Talk to us. Tell us where we're going.
Hmm.
Uh, Is there a place we're going? I think we all agree. Um, but the proof is in the pudding. Every single time in recent memory that the Democrats have had power, they don't play the same game that Republicans play. Republicans stole 2 Supreme Court seats from us. What did we do? Nothing,
Hmm.
nothing about that at all. And we can gripe about it and cry about it. We do. But what do we do when we have power? Last time we had power really to do something and did something, we got the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare. Well, that was written by the Heritage Foundation. That was the Republicans' health care plan that we took a big bold move and got a little bit better health care for some people. But we could do so much more. We've had the power to expand the Supreme Court. Have we done that? No. We've had the power to uh, in the filibuster. Have we done that? No, we have not. We have not changed the Electoral College. None of these things that we say when we get in this predicament right here, we're in a constitutional crisis. But this wouldn't have happened if this thing were fair or that thing were gone. Well, we've had the power to get rid of that thing and equalize that thing and fix this thing, but we don't do it when we have that power. So it's messaging and utilizing our power. If there are no rules, if that's just how we roll now, there's just no rules. You can do whatever you want. You can be a king when you get the presidency. Well, next time we get somebody in that office, we better act like a king. And we better get some policies. If we say our policies are so great, put it in place when you have the power to do it. Do what you say you're going to do. That's the appeal that people say over and over that they have for Donald Trump, even though they're losing their jobs now
Hmm.
because of that appeal. They're losing their health care because of that appeal. If we have the right policies and the right answers, then when we get power, somebody should do something because
Hmm.
if you don't give people to vote something to vote for, they're going to stop voting for you eventually. And we
Mm.
see it over and over again. We don't do anything about it when we have the
Mm.
power to do it.
Hmm.
So
Well,
Glass, are you gonna go ahead, Josh, and then Glass, are you gonna do it or am I gonna do it? That was a strong thing that you text me.
well, I do feel like when our party tries to do something big or great that's going to help the American people, you get pushback from it. One of the biggest things that just kind of blows my mind is when Biden tried to do the student loan act to waive all the student loans, and you have states suing the government to stop this program that just
Yes.
kind of blows my mind, because prior to this, I didn't know that the states could sue a federal government to stop something. Student loans is a federally funded thing anyway. So it just, because I would have benefited quite a bit from that had it went through. So now, I'm kind
Yes.
of upset that didn't go through. So it's like, the things that,
Josh,
he's tried to work on, then you get pushback.
Yeah.
Josh, not mean to cut you off, but see, Ron, that's I'm gonna let you read the text, but that's exactly what I'm saying. See, and Josh, I'm glad you said that. Ron, if I knew that this one man, no matter who it is serving in office, had all this power, why Obama didn't do it? What's his excuse? What's his
I mean,
excuse?
and it's only fair because you just text me that and I thought about it. If he's doing all of this, this is just signing. If he's doing all of this action, then he's putting it out there for everybody else to see it. And we was in the same position when who was in office? He had the same opportunity, but we did not do that. We didn't do that. And Trump was the one that called the healthcare system Obamacare. It got tagged to him. I'm gonna be honest with you. You might as well tell the truth. It just got tagged to him because they thought they could do away with it. But it's this time he didn't mention Obamacare not one time. He ain't saying I'm doing away with it. I'm doing that. He hadn't did that one time. So tell me if I'm wrong.
You remember though all the crying and the whining and the calling him a tyrant, calling him a dictator because he gave us health care. And they had, the anti-Obamacare rallies that just so happened to have all the racists that they could find burning effigies and carrying Confederate flags, calling it a anti-Obamacare rally. Okay. I mean, you remember all that pushback that they got, but behind all of their rhetoric, they were getting their states to sue. They were getting, all the way up to the Supreme Court, case after case after case. They play like a full court press every time, no matter what, starting from their local governments through their school board. They don't play. They don't just. Republicans have been playing this long game for what, 60, 70 years?
Hey,
I
Rihanna.
mean, same agenda.
Rihanna,
Yes.
I hate to cut you off, but I think
No, please.
I think you is what you call that, Ron, ESP, because I just got a text from a hardworking individual, a very hardworking individual. And Rihanna, it goes to exactly what you're saying, and I'm gonna read it because I love reading the responses that we get. I feel with the Democratic Party is that we've done nothing but play by the rules when the Republicans have completely ignored it. In the words of the late Eric Mays, when they go low, we need to go lower.
Yes. Yes.
This the text right here.
Oh, Lord. Yes, yes, yes.
So
I
Ron,
totally agree.
it's obvious that what Josh is saying, facts. What Rihanna is saying, facts. What these responders are saying. So the question is, why are we waiting on them to do what we know what needs to be done?
Josh, I'm gonna let you respond to that because when I respond to that, it's gonna take a little while.
Well, my answer is kind of quick. Like I feel like the big moves, there's always pushback. Even piggybacking off of what Rihanna was saying, like anytime there's things that you try to put in place, you get pushed back. Stuff goes to Supreme Court there, so we can win. And even going back to Obama, he didn't do anything drastic, but I felt like he had to play by the rules because if he ruffled any feathers, they was gonna get him out of there real quick. And we know why.
Yeah. He did hold a lot of firsts.
Yep.
He put in a lot of first things in place. But here's what he didn't take advantage of: the Congress, the Senate, and he didn't sit down and sign no executive orders. But he could play basketball.
Mr. Spikes.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
I'm hot, man, on one of these texts. Now, these are people that's listening to the show now,
Mm-hmm.
which is a plus. Here's a problem with that. When Trump does it, he's keeping his word and making America great again. If the Dems did that exact thing, they would have been viewed as not reaching across our double standard. So
yep.
here's the ringer. Whoever has the microphone controls the narrative.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes.
There's nothing that we can say because you know what? We on this air and we discussing it and the one thing I can say about Two Gents and Blog Talk USA, what we try to do is give America a voice. See, sometimes you sit at home and you can't say nothing. If you look at other shows, they don't listen to you. They don't even take your text. They don't respond to you because they have a agenda that they already set.
Hmm?
You can come on here right now, and we're gonna bring you into the show, and we're gonna adopt the show to what you're saying. We're gonna give you an opportunity to speak. And I think that's the problem is that we have too many people, we have too many chiefs, and not enough Indians. We have a lot of chiefs in the Democratic Party. Let somebody say something that makes sense and see how many of them stand up. They got a better idea. They going down a different road. But they forget the guy that stood up and brought it to him. I know, Glassy. Come on in.
No. I was just thinking. Look at what they did to AOC
Yes.
committee. Okay, look what they did to Bernie Sanders. Look what they just recently did with the nomination process. So, Ron, they are just as crooked as the other side. It's just a different barrel. Man, that's why 8, 10, 12 years ago, I decided to get away from both parties
Mm-hmm.
because they both lying. And they know that they can lie because eventually you're gonna holler and scream for 2 or 3 days a weekend, and then on Monday you're back to the same game plan. It's time out for that. As long as this man is doing what he's doing and connecting with those who are doing, he's connecting with those people who he's doing what they want him to do. You ain't gonna lose that battle, bro. You ain't gonna
I
lose.
want to apologize. You're right, Glass. I'm gonna acknowledge what you said. You're right, but I just want to say this: A.F. Riggins is out on a trail ride tonight, and he's going up and down the road. We celebrate trail rides in Texas, and trust me, it's been cold out there. So I want to take my hat off to him, tell him to stay warm, and any chance he get some heat, get something to eat, because sometimes on those trail rides, the only thing you need to do is go to sleep. But I still want to acknowledge him. This thing right here is important. This thing right here that we're doing is important. I don't care how much you go through the media. Nobody's holding our party. I say our party. How I vote when I get in the booth might be totally different because I'm gonna vote the best candidate in, but I'm gonna still call it our party because I know where it has brought us from, and it's like it brought us here, but it don't have no direction to go forward. It don't have no movement. It's like it. I think in Arizona they have a bunch of airplanes out there in the desert, and they park. I mean, they ain't even going out there getting parts off the airplane or nothing. They just sitting out there. That's where we are as a whole. And if we're not on the offensive, we definitely on the defensive. Cause I was looking at this I can't think of her name, but she called this lady Bad Body Bush something, and she's out of Texas, I think. But instead of her moving forward with her agenda, what she's doing is defending her position on the money that she has. She's standing up, going to black media talking about, well, I was a lawyer before I came in. I had some court cases that was pending, and that's where I got my money from. You know, they making us accountable. We're not making them accountable. We're not saying must. You know, you're getting all these contracts from the government, but you're taking away from people. We're not talking about that. We just listen. We got our headphones on like I got on, and we just taking it. It was something else that and here's my comparison. The last people that just took it like that, what happened to them? They went backward. While everybody else went forward, they went backward. We gotta grab an agenda and we gotta go forward. And I'm asking our party, and the people that sit in seats in DC to give us something to go to. I mean, we just do this little podcast out here. I don't want to see nobody in the media jumping up and down, screaming, hollering, talking about, y'all should be upset, y'all should. I don't need all that. We just need some normal conversation and push your agenda that's going somewhere, because that's what we're asking you to do. At this point, we're asking you to give us some guidance and tell us where we're going. Stop sitting there defending yourself. There ain't nothing that you can do. Y'all need to, if it take going behind closed doors, y'all need to close them doors and don't come out. It's almost like until you elect a pope, send up some white smoke or gray smoke. Just stay there till you come up with something. I don't know what to tell you. But you got elected. Come on, give us some smoke signals. Go back in your history, or come down south, or Oklahoma, or somewhere. The Indians communicated with smoke signals from the highest mountaintop.
Right. Let me ask you this: Do you think the Dems lost those who may have gone with them when they focused on the social issues, like guys playing in girls' locker rooms or girls' sports, or things that really was not receptive to their pocket, or things that they could actually see. Do you think they lost on that message?
They were lost when they first began on that message, because I know here it go. I'm just gonna say it. I'm not gonna have my daughter boxing, and then Mike Tyson say I identify as a woman. I'm not going for it. Sometimes you just got to get on the right side and stay there. Your messaging has to be clear. I agree with you. I'm glad you brought that up, but Glass, our messaging wasn't clear. Mm-hmm. Everybody that steps up, we let them get destroyed. I'm gonna call out a name. You call out Bernie Sanders. I'm gonna call out Stacey Abrams. She is a prime example of somebody getting cheated.
Yeah.
Somebody getting just misused and abused. And I hope that she hasn't given up on politics, because we need somebody out there that can stand up regardless of what's going on. Ain't nobody perfect. Hell, if she did something so bad, I never heard her say she going out and grab what? She didn't say that. But this man, he president, and he was clear in his message.
So Ron, it is a question now. If she was viable, and the people that were supposed to be supporting her actually cut her throat, is she making the same mistake by supporting the same people that cut off?
I think she disappeared from the scene. But if she is, I agree with you. She making the same mistake. I agree with you. But I heard her message, and I know how clear she came across. I know she would have been better than this fool in office. I know she would have been better. I ain't gonna say it. I'm gonna leave that one alone, because if I say it, I know I'm gonna get chastised in the. I'm sorry, I'm under the weather, but I can't not do this show. We only do it once a week. I have to be better than the Congress and the Senate that I'm asking. They only work a certain amount of time.
So Ron, were you are you insinuating that Abrams would have been a better candidate than Kamala?
You trying to get me there, ain't you? I see you picking. I see you pushing that horse.
I'm just keeping it real, man.
I think she would have been a better candidate. I think she would have held up to the things that Kamala didn't hold up to. I'm still getting emails that say Kamala needs money. I'm like, if you had all, glad she brought me back here. If you had all that money, and you had access to all that money, and you had to pay these few stars to come on and say they support you, and then it comes out after the party, after it's over with. There's something wrong there. Your messages wasn't even reaching the people that you had to bring on the stage to support you. They wasn't supporting you. You paid them. You have to acknowledge that. Did you see how much Oprah Winfrey got paid to come up there? Did you see how much the rest of them got paid? Right down the line. Now, I'm calling that out because if I like you, if I agree with you, if I can go with you, you ain't got to pay me to say nothing good about you. I yield. I see ain't nobody else stepping in that pile I just stepped in.
Well, I'll say before she was nominated, like how active was she as a VP?
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm coughing, but
No, you fine.
he asked a hard question, but here's the question. She bought a lot of stuff when she went to Europe that they talked about.
Mm-hmm.
And they gave her a title of Board of Czar. I don't know. They gave this new guy a title of Board of Czar. I think he down there putting the walls. He at least made a trip down to the border. Not getting called out and then making a trip down there. You can't be over the border if you ain't went down there and seen what it was about. I think it's Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, California. Her own state has a border with Mexico that she could have went.
Mm-hmm.
Even if she went down to Tijuana, it's a train out of San Diego that you can catch down the Tijuana border. But
and I can say for her to be a first in several categories, like I don't think there's nothing that she did when she was in office that's memorable that would make me like, okay, well she's ready to be president.
I don't have anything to say.
Okay.
But,
yeah.
You know, I will say it, Glass.
Well,
you know,
yeah, but the point is, and the reason why I'm not saying nothing, because I'm trying to wait for somebody to say, tell me where the lies at, because everything Josh is saying is what 75% of the people felt. But still, even though they felt this way, oh, you got to do this. You got to go with this. You got to do this because people wasn't going for that. So
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this, and I Dr. McKellar, if nothing else gets you involved in this conversation, this will, because I know you're gonna support your sister, but it wasn't enough sororities out there to get over the hill. AKA Deltas.
But that's a problem.
And all the rest of that, it wasn't enough. If you remember before, Glass, I said this before, and I know I'm stepping on toes. Before the election came, everybody had on their sorority clothes. They was dressed up. They identified with the message. Oh, you go into Sam's, you see them all. They got their purple and yellow on, their red and white. Dr. McKellar, Glass, give me the AKA colors because I don't want to mess it up. I have to get that part right.
Pink and green.
I'm sorry, but I just had to scratch that itch, and that itch was, it's not enough sororities and brothers and sisters out there that carry the message. You needed a person that was 100% doing something. 100%. Every time Biden got in the picture, and I'm gonna call out somebody else. Every time Biden got in the picture, for the last 25 years, every time that the president went into the Congress, I seen this person come to the forefront. It wasn't a meeting that the president came in. It didn't matter if it was Republican or Democrat. The late Sheila Jackson Lee. Go back if you don't believe me. You seen her get up and come in there, and she was there. She wanted her people to see her. When people vote and they seen Sheila Jackson Lee name on the ticket, they voted for her. We have to get back to building, not tearing down. We got to stop them from tearing down. Even the lady I just got through telling you about. I can't. If I could think of her name, I know everybody would know who I'm talking about.
Ron,
Jasmine Crockett.
Thank you.
Ron, but again, I'm still waiting on somebody to answer. If this man that's in there now got all this power, why didn't these other people exercise the same power? Why didn't they do as much as they could have done if all that power has been there and they just reserved and chose not to use it?
I got a bigger question than that, Glass. You know, in the next election cycle that's coming up, what are we expecting to happen?
But you ain't got no voice to help you get it happen.
And that's coming up soon. Any messaging out there about who's running for office? Any messages on mainstream media where they're telling you this person running for office? No, none of that. You know what they say? They don't have to do it. Why? We don't have no competition. We used to, it's sad. And this is the sad part about it, Glass. We were a strong party when you could go in there and pull one ticket. You could say all Democrats and get up out of there and vote. But now that you have to make a decision when you go in that booth, we're not even doing that. We're scared to make a decision, or the messaging is so bad that we're only going to vote for Democrats. But if you notice, I know here in Houston, down in Pearland, they have a lot of Republicans that's running, and it's non-contested seats. The only thing you can do is not vote for them. They're going to still hold the office. So, somewhere, it's not getting there. I'm like you, Andrea. Game over. Let's push. Yo, somebody take over.
Well, Ron, I think you hit the nail on the head. But again, if all this has been happening for years, what's sharp in that? Again, nobody's pointing fingers. We're basically trying to explore options that are available. So again, if all this stuff has been happening for 20, 30, 40, the last 50 years, it would seem to me that somebody would have changed this game by now. But everybody's sticking to the status quo. Now you got this lone wolf coming in, just doing everything that he want to do and how he want to do it. And man, he exercising power that I didn't know the president had. I always thought that no one was above the law, but it was that can't be true. We know that somebody's above the law because everything that's out there don't necessarily benefit what it is that we do or how we go about doing it. So I'm just amazed, Josh, and I'll ask you this. I'm trying to figure out again, and this is an honest assessment. If from what I'm seeing has always been there, why didn't nobody else do all these things? I mean, it's not making sense to me. And I've been a student of politics for the last 35 years, and I knew that the man was powerful, but this too much power.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, then was them other people afraid to do it, or whether they wasn't smart enough to do it? I mean, something ain't adding up here, Ron, Josh, Rihanna. Something not adding up, and I've always been told that 1 + 1 = 2, unless you're dealing with a -1 and a +1. So I'm trying to find an answer to this question. No, I'm serious. I mean, I have honestly thought about. I'm saying, man, if Obama had all this, come on, man, you could have. Man, Ron, we missing a individual on the judge seat right now because he didn't fight back. He wanted to play the damn game fair and square when he should have been fighting. You see what I'm saying?
Mr. Ron,
McConnell came in and stole.
Mr. Ron.
I think we
Mr.
got
Ron.
Dr. Shirley McKellar's on
Yes,
there.
I would love to join this conversation. If I'm allowed. First of all, let me just say this. If we studied the Constitution, which I heard the gentleman say he's looked at it for 30 years, Harry Truman said when he was president, if I had known that the president of the United States was just a glorified secretary, I would not have ever run. Donald Trump does not have the power that he's taking over. He's allowed this power by the people that are kissing his feet. He does not have the power. The people who actually have the power in this country are the Senate and then the Congress. They make the
Didn't Obama have the Senate and the Congress?
yeah, but what I'm saying to you, yes, and what I'm
Okay,
saying to
so
you is, but let me finish. If we're gonna follow the laws of the country, if we're gonna follow the law, yeah, President Obama could write an executive order and it passed through his people if they wanted it to pass. All I'm saying to you is that Donald Trump does not have the power. His people are allowing him to do everything and anything that he wants to do simply because they want to save the seat that they are in. He's doing all kinds of things that are not according to the Constitution of the United States of America. I studied that thing backwards and forward. That's why when I decided to run for Congress, I went back to school. I'm medical, but I went back to school to study government and politics because it had been a long time since I sat in the seat in social studies, government, all that. And I learned so much more than I knew. And so it's troubling to me that the Republicans in Washington, D.C. are allowing this guy to do whatever he wants because he is an autocrat. He thinks that he is going to be a king, or he's looking at the third run because he already told us, if you vote for me this time, you never have to vote for me again. And I agree with you guys. They're not saying anything about the 100 contracts that Elon Musk has, to include the contract of providing us with voting machines. So that's what I have to say about the fact that we know who's supposed to be ruling our country or making decisions for our country, or passing laws once they are brought from the president's office. He can write an executive order, but it also has to go up to the Senate in order for it to get passed. And they're just passing things through because they are afraid to lose their seats. And that's why you have even here in Texas, we now have Republicans that are standing up in town hall meetings. I was just in Austin 3 weeks ago, and people were all over that Capitol building because they were upset what Donald Trump's doing right now, and those were Republicans. I digress.
Ron, Dr. McKellar, I respectfully disagree with some of what you're saying relative to the fact that whether we like it or not, what he's doing is exactly what he wants to do.
That's what I
And
just said.
yeah,
Right.
and to say that it's not law, well, it's something because he's doing it.
No, but you didn't hear what I said. I
Yeah, I heard
said,
what you said.
okay, so there was Republicans who want to maintain their seat in the Senate, who want to maintain their seat in Congress, are allowing this man because they know that there are a lot of Republicans out there that that are still going along with Trump. And they put him in there, but a lot of them are not. They're big because why? It's affecting their pocketbooks now. And then we got airplanes dropping out of the sky because this man is taking air traffic controllers off of their jobs, talking about DEI. It's ridiculous where we are, and unless we speak up, you see what happened in 24 hours after he started to doing things that he had no business doing. People were showing up in Washington, D.C., and he paused those things, and they're still paused. He said, I'm going to pause them for 24 hours or so, but they're still paused because he knows that the things that he's doing, and then he's allowing Elon Musk, who has already stolen everything from our people in Africa, and then now he's over here stealing from the people in America, and they're allowing that.
Which brings me to my question:
Okay.
if everything you're saying is true, when Obama had the House and the Senate, why didn't he do that?
You'll have to
Or
ask
something
him.
like that.
I don't. No, because Democrats believe in trying to follow the law according to the way it is written, and we got to be a little bit more pervasive, and we got to be a little bit more pushy. But I'm not saying that we should break the law, because we should not break the law. The only way that those things that Trump is doing right now is that we have to go and change the Constitution. But they are allowing it simply because they're afraid of this guy, and they want to maintain their seats. And unless America speaks up, he's going to make a lot. There are people in nursing homes that are going to lose the ability to be able to stay in nursing homes, that people that look like us, because he's cutting Medicaid and trying to cut Medicare. And then I'm a veteran, Ron's a veteran. He's trying to cut and have cut some things with the veterans. That's why we were up in Dallas at the VA saying, we need you guys to speak up, because these are benefits that we earned. I spent 20 years and 8 hours in the military and 1 minute to get my purse to get out the doorway. So everything that I get, I worked for it. I'm an Iraq and Afghanistan warrior. So I had my boots on the ground a long time. But unless we speak up and do something about it, he's going to do whatever he wants to do. And whatever Elon Musk wants to do. And many people don't even know. And let's talk about Kamala Harris. She had 100 days to prepare. We have to know what the duties of the vice president of the United States is. She's to fill in. She's to fill in when the president is not available. She doesn't overstep the president.
Ron, I think you're on mute.
I'm s- I'm not on mute.
No, I said Ron.
Oh, okay. All right.
I am. I am. Thank you for looking at the glass, because I would have never looked at. Here's the thing, Dr. McKellar. How many of us before the election thought that any of those court cases that came up against Trump was going to actually amount to something?
Let me just put it like this. The It was there. It should have amounted to something, but however, we knew that he was working really hard at all cost to become the president so that he would not go to jail. And so at any level, and that's why I believe, because Musk was in charge of our elect. A lot of people don't even know that he was in charge of our election machines in this country. And Trump said, and as Maya Angelou says, when people show you who they are, you better believe it. He already showed us who he was. We read the 800 and some pages of the Project 2025. But people say, oh, this is some of the Republican friends that I serve with here in Tyler. Oh, he's just kidding. Oh, he's not going to do that. No, you know this guy. He is going to do that. And now they're sorry here locally that they voted for him. Now
Yeah,
they're upset.
and Dr. McKellar, the real reason why I asked that is because you
Okay.
brought up a key point.
All right.
You know, all those court cases that was against him, every citizen in the United States has a right of appeal.
Yes.
And his right of appeal was going to his Supreme Court. So how far did we think that was going to go? Instead of running ops, we should have been trying to make a difference in what was going on, because in reality, he could appeal all the way up to the Supreme Court. I never thought he was going to jail. I don't care what was going on. And Glass,
Right.
I'm
We
gonna
know he
give it
should
back
have
to
gone
you.
to jail. Okay, well, we
Yeah,
know
he
he
should have
should have
gone to jail, but I knew
But
he wasn't going to jail because
exactly, we all
he was
did.
playing he was playing chess, and we was still playing checkers.
But
Glass,
Ron,
I'm gonna give it back to you.
but
And
what I mean, that's what I'm saying.
But he
We're
has the
saying
Supreme
that
Court. Has the
but
Supreme Court.
everybody else has
Go
had
ahead.
the same right, the same opportunity, the same option.
mm-hmm.
So it's obvious that what he's doing is
If
resonating
you
with
look,
somebody.
he no, this man has taken over this country. All these rights that you think he has control of the Supreme Court. They went along with him when E. Jean Carroll said what happened to her. They pay that no attention. Well, he already told us when he was on that bus with Bush what he does to women. He already said that. We all heard it.
We
But
did hear
because
Dr. McKellar, but here's the thing: we haven't did anything to stop him.
Exactly.
that's my
We
point
haven't did
exactly.
anything to
The
stop him.
people,
But we hold
the
it. But we
people
got people that's
voted.
sitting. We got people that's sitting up there in Congress and in the Senate. And what was that lady's name? Josh. What was that lady's name? Come on. What was her name?
Jasmine Crockett.
Jazz. Miss Crockett.
What's your name?
You know what she defended? She defended her
Yeah,
position
I put
on
that in the chat for
on
you.
where she get the money instead of being able to go out and go to Congress. That's a defensive position that they
But
put
she had,
Democrats in.
Ron, but Ron, you must have not been following Jasmine Crockett. Jasmine Crockett and I are very good friends. We have been for a long time, even before she got to Washington D.C. Right? She's been on every network, everyone, repeatedly talking about what needs to take place and that we need to get out there and stop him because according to the Constitution, he cannot do these things that we are allowing him. When I say we, I'm talking about the people who actually are in charge there in Washington, D.C. They are allowing him simply because they want to maintain their positions in Congress and in the Senate. And if they go against him, you already heard, did you hear him the other day when he was talking to that governor in I can't remember what state it was. It's a Democratic. He's a Democratic governor. He told him no, it was a Republican governor. Told him that he was not. He was going to see to it that he did not get reelected again because he's going against what he had to say. Now
Dr.
this is the
McKellar.
kind of control. Yes, sir.
Dr. McKellar, you got a lot of
Yes, sir.
information and you sharing a lot of thoughts that I think it's the same conversation that we had back about 10 years ago that's going on right now. But here's what I want to ask you. What can we do to change it? We
Okay.
already here. We already, and I know you're an elected official and all of that. But what can we do? What messaging can we do to change the scenario in which we're in?
Okay, you can call Ted Cruz and John Cornyn because they're going along with them. These gentlemen, I don't know what state they come from, but whatever state, every person should be blowing up their telephones every single day. I dial their numbers every single day I wake up to say, I'm not having this. You need to vote against what this guy is doing because you know what the Constitution says. So that's what we should be doing. And then whenever there's rallies and town hall meetings that are in our areas, or start one, invite people to come and ask John Cornyn and Ted Cruz won't let us get in their office door because they know it's wrong what they're doing. They have offices locally here in Tyler, Texas, and our people, the people are standing out on the streets in front of their offices every day. And then we're blowing up their phones every day. And everybody should be blowing up their phones because what he's doing is affecting our marginalized people that look like us and poor white people.
There's an election process that's coming up real soon, Dr. McKellar.
Yes, sir.
Do you think that we're gonna gain any seats? Do you think that even locally that it's gonna change? And Glass, I know we're coming up on the time, so I don't want to stay on here too long because it's like the longer we stay, our message is missed. So I would like to
Right.
just ask you one last question, then Byron, I'm gonna let you have it, and then Josh, let you make some comments on what's being said, and we'll go from there. I'm still on this thing, Dr. McKellar. What can we do?
I just
We.
told you what we can do. And the election that's coming up now, those are local city elections. We won't have a congressional election no more until 2 years from now because we just had the congressional and senatorial election in November. But all politics are local, obviously. But what I'm saying to you is that all of us should be calling our senators and our Congress people to express whatever it is that is on our hearts. Thank you.
Thank you for coming in, Dr. McKellar. I knew if I started talking about them sororities, I was gonna fire
No,
you up.
it wasn't about that. I've been trying to get in.
Okay, I
Okay,
appreciate you
thank you,
coming in.
gentlemen.
We're gonna try to get out
My
of here, but
pleasure.
we're gonna have this
Yeah,
thing
Doc,
every Tuesday.
don't leave yet, because Ron, this particular format has a
Sir,
tendency
I'm
to.
not going anywhere until you.
I can't. What she say?
I couldn't understand it, Dr. McKellar. We missing you a little bit, but I think Glass wants to. Glass has something you want to ask you. So if you stick around for just a
No, no,
little
no, no.
bit longer, we'll
I'm
try to
not
get out
going
of here.
any place until we end. I'm not going any
Okay,
place. I'm right
Yeah,
okay.
here.
no, no.
And we
What I
invite you back next Tuesday.
Yeah,
Next
no, Ron.
Tuesday
What
too.
I was saying was, sometimes these particular formats can allow people that may be looking when you exchange, different philosophies. People think that you're arguing and all that other kind of stuff, which is totally, not true. But I would love to talk to her more off the record, on this because I think we're saying the same thing. I think just different methodologies. I think what she's saying has a lot of validity to it, but to just the average voter, they don't understand, what it is. So I think, the educational aspect of, getting people to understand what, politics actually is and, how you really, get involved to, actively, change things. Again, what I'm really trying to get at is get people to see that if this man, for whatever reason, is able to do what it is that he's doing, when we have the opportunity to do that by the book, doc, by the rules, why is it that we are always so passive? We're so passive, and everybody else, and they push it down your throat. They don't care how you feel about it. They're gonna do whatever it is they want to do. So I think if we can get a group of people educate like she's saying, which is when those phones started ringing, people listen because they don't want to
Yes,
deal with that. I think when you mobilize people with the understanding of what it is that you're doing, because the vast majority of people understand that what's taking place now, it's either going to affect you directly, it's going to affect you indirectly, or it's going to affect your mom, your dad, or your grandpa, or
yes, sir.
somebody. So
Yes,
at the end of the day, you may not be dealing with it now, but you're going to be dealing with it. And the problem is once it starts and take place, it's 50 years of changing.
that's it. That's it.
Hmm. True
So,
that.
and that's the reason why I listened more, because I didn't want it to look like there was a debate going on, because that's not what we do. Everybody share very much logical, digest. And I supported you when you ran. And I ran myself as well over here in Louisiana. So I'm very familiar with that process. I think more of us should run. I think
Yes,
more
sir.
of us should get involved.
Yes.
I'm 34 years in, so I'm out. Doc, I cannot find nobody in the last 10 years, and I've asked every opportunity I've had, who's going to take my place when I'm gone next year?
That's
Nobody
it.
has come forward.
That's it.
That's a problem within itself.
Hmm.
So I would love for
And
us to
you
run.
Yes, I'm glad you said that. And I will share this quickly. When I came on council 6 years ago, I immediately reached back to see who I thought would be the perfect person to work in my seat. And I worked with three people. I sent them to campaign schools. I carried them on the road with me everywhere I went, from Texas, Austin, all the way to Washington, D.C., to see how Congress works, see how the federal works, see how the state works, and see how local government works. And I even have one that's getting ready to run for my seat now, because I'm running for mayor next year. Because I'm going to tell you, my boots going to be on the ground until they shove the dust over my face. All right? So I'm not going any place.
You
Right
know,
there, I will be.
Josh, before I bring you in, I want to say this, and a lot of people don't know this, and Glass and me myself, we know this. Dr. Shirley McKellar is in touch with all those people, known by name basis, and they recognize Dr. McKellar's name. So this might be just a little podcast out here, but we got somebody on there right now that can actually put their hands in those people that's up there making those decisions hands. I heard her say it, and maybe nobody caught it during the show, but she said she know the young lady on a first name basis, and she been
Yeah,
knowing her since before she ran office. So this might be the smallest podcast out there trying to make a difference, but we can reach out. We can reach out. So Josh, come on in and give us your perspective. And Glass closes out after that because
No, Ron,
we over.
we're gonna yield to the lady. We're gonna let her close us out.
Yeah. Come on, Josh. And then Dr. Shirley McKellar, give us some hope. I'm
I was
just
about to say,
asking.
I don't have nothing to say after that.
No.
We talking
Well,
about
Dr.
people
Mc,
Listen,
with
gentlemen,
political experience. I'm just a little
yes.
peon.
Well, no, there's no such thing as that.
Right.
Listen, we need the brothers need the sisters. We can do this thing. We have to stand up for our people simply because it's going to affect our people, our ancestors that are behind us. I
Hmm.
mean, our people that are still here that are behind us. It's really going to hurt them. Next week, I'll
Hmm.
be back down in Austin. The city of Tyler will be down there talking to their legislators. And listen, I give them heck when I'm down there because I'm not scared and I don't bite my tongue when I talk about
Dr.
because I
McKellar, you getting too excited and
love
we
the
kind of
community
missing some
and
important
I'm
words
black
there.
inside and fight for my
Well, I think it may
people
be.
until the day I die. My
We
boots
heard
on the
that.
ground. Thank you.
And Ron, and see, that's the difference.
I said I'm
That's
going to
the
be in Austin next week.
yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Ron.
I
But
heard
see,
that.
Go ahead.
Ron, that's the type of uh temperament you got to have. You got to be willing to play the game until it's over. You can't play the game
Yeah.
and then when it don't go your way, then you get out.
Mm.
Absolutely.
You're
There you
gonna be
go.
fighting this until and that's what the average individual don't understand. It may be rough the first year, it may be rough the second year, but you got to stay there until things started going your way, and then you got to perfect that. And I think that's what we're missing with regards to people, getting involved. It's not
Mm-hmm.
over with. Whatever this guy's gonna do, he's gonna do it. But we still got to be there fighting. So when we take the baton,
Exactly.
you can go back and correct this stuff and move forward. I've always looked at it this way, Dr. McKellar.
Yes,
I
sir.
promised my mama that I wasn't going through what she went through. I'm willing to die for that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, I'm not violent by no stretch of the imagination, but I can
No.
promise you this. I know what freedom is like. I ain't going back.
Mm.
That's it.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, I'm so serious about this thing. I take my child, Miss Rihanna, right up there in Washington, D.C. with us. We're talking to John Lewis, and we're talking to one of my greatest supporters in Washington, D.C. is Cory Booker. Miss Rihanna can tell you that. We spent time with him when we were in Washington, D.C. He donated to my campaign, and it was not small money. He donated big bucks to my campaign. So
Mhm.
we know those people in Washington, D.C., and we know how to get them down to. We had Emmanuel Cleaver, Representative Congressman Emmanuel Cleaver from he's my frat brother from Kansas, had him down in Dallas the other day, last weekend. So we know how to get these people down here and we know how to get their attention. And we gotta all do it together. Do it together.
Mhm.
Dr. McKellar,
Right.
at one time we used to invite guests on to the radio show and to the little podcast that we were doing.
Yes.
We're gonna have to start back. I
Yes.
don't have that reach. We're gonna have to go through you and kind of invite some of those guests on. So maybe they can hear the normal
That's right.
people out here, and maybe they can deliver
Yes,
a
sir.
message back to their counterparts and say, our people out there struggling. Our people out there struggling. They want to hear from you. But you got to come and
Yeah.
give us something. Don't wait till the last minute and make that mess. So I'm going to say this, and we're going to get out of here. Dr. McKellar, glad said we're going to you. And since you're going to fight to the end until the dirt gets on top of your head, we're gonna let you close us out. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
Hopefully Dr. McKellar
Good.
can get us somebody else around her to come in, and we ain't going to question them about their position. We're going to ask them what are their plans. That's all we want to know. Plans.
Okay.
You don't do nothing without
We'll
an
work on that.
SOV.
We'll work on that for next week. We'll and so Ron, let me just say that thank you for all the great work that you continue to do. Gentlemen, thank you for the great work that you continue to do in this country. And that's what we need in order for us to move forward. Because as Mr. Glass says, we ain't going back. I said
Ain't.
ain't, and I'm not taking it back. I know it's
Me
not
either.
good English. I do
I
know
don't
English
care.
and I know it well, but I ain't going back. Thank you,
uh,
Mr. Ron. And we look forward
hey,
to being back with
Ron,
you
Doc.
on next
Yeah,
week.
hey, and I, I grew up around all women, so I always extend hats off to women who have enough strength that's not afraid to get in the trenches. And hopefully, when you come out of those trenches, there will be brothers that's there lifting you up and encouraging you to continue to go forward. Because at the end of the day, we can do whatever we want to do, but we never get to the finish line without you guys. So what I'm telling you is that from two gents and all of us here, we are here to support you, your voice, your message. Again, what I like about it is that we don't always have to agree, but we always remember at
That's
the end
right.
of the day, we're all trying to go toward the same goal, which is to move this thing forward. So I applaud you. We'll talk some more. I
Thank
love
you.
you as a sister,
Thank
and
you.
I wish you
Oh,
the
I
very
love.
best. Don't never give up. And if you ever find yourself where you feel like there's no shoulder to cry on, I can promise you this: Ron and I
I
will
call you.
always be there for you. Always. Love you.
Thank you too, gents. Let me say this. If I was not afraid of Saddam Hussein, I'm not scared of anybody in this country, right? And then
Hey,
let me tell you this also. I'm married and I don't agree with everything that my husband says, but I support him 100%. So thank you
Amen.
for the support too, gents. I love
Yes,
you
sir.
and thank you for having me on with you tonight. Good
I
Ron,
night.
will
it's
say thank
about
God.
8:58 p.m. Central Standard Time, bro. It's time to close this thing out.
I was saying thank God, thank God, thank God Almighty, because
All right.
we had a great podcast, and we're out of here. We're really out of here. Dr. McKellar, thank you. Josh, thank you. Byron Glass is already gone. He say I'm out. Y'all take care. Good night, everybody. Thank you for listening.